Pisces, this is Leah with Half Moon Tarot. I will be doing your December 2022 reading. I've already meditated over the cards and asked that Spirit bring whatever is necessary for you to hear, for you to know, expect, and be prepared for, okay? So in the meditation, the Queen of Swords comes out, followed by the Judgment card, followed by the Seven of Coins. Okay, I'm sorry, Eight of Coins. Okay. So, there's a few things that came up, Pisces. There's a few things. The first one is for some of my Pisces that have a hard time speaking up. Okay. December 2022 is going to be the start of you practicing speaking up for yourself in the simplest of ways. When you, when something makes you feel uncomfortable, when you don't like something, when you do like something, when you do feel comfortable and safe, it is time for you to start speaking up for yourself. Okay. The other thing that came up, Pisces, was some of y'all are getting reckless at the mouth. Okay. And you don't care, and that's fine, and that's really, really fine. Just be prepared for for what comes with that. Okay. When you're reckless at the mouth, you just got to be prepared for what comes with it. All right. The third and last thing that came up is that I guess it's two things. One is that some of my Pisces are going into a space of pastorhood, priesthood, okay? Where they are going into a space where they are creating a relationship with their version of creator, right? So they are creating a very strong bond and relationship there with spirit, God, universe, whatever you want to call it. And that is a space where it could be abundant, okay, for them, because it's like, this is something maybe you didn't think of, or you've been thinking about it for quite some time, or it is just something that you have, always been good at, right? It's always come natural for you to be able to speak into somebody, for your relationship with God, universe, spirit, Gus, to flourish in that space, right? It's always been a close relationship. Now, my fourth thing that came up was that some of my Pisces are going to be bombarded this month with visions and downloads, and that connection with your creator is going to be so very strong that some of you all might be experiencing a lot of deja vu, which simply means that you are on the right path, right? And we usually get a lot of deja vu when we're asking for a sign, when we're asking this relationship to guide us in the right direction. And when we start to get deja vu, it's like, oh, you're on the right path, okay? You're moving towards exactly what you're supposed to be moving towards. And I really want to stay on the last one because there's going to be a lot of eyes on you, Pisces, which made me go into like pastorhood, priesthood type of thing. This could also be motivational speaking. This could be conferences that you speak at, but for whatever profession that you do, there's going to be a lot of eyes on you, and we could have things planned out. Eight of Coins, planned out, word for word. memorized it exactly how we want to say it, exactly how we want it to be. And connection comes in, and your spirit comes in, and God and universe and Gus comes in to the space and completely changes the format. And we have to be resilient in that. And that's where the Queen of Swords comes in. It's like, it speaks of resiliency. It speaks to you know, going with the flow, but also keeping that connection, right? If things start to not go your way, Pisces, just know that they're not going your way for a reason. Okay, we can have things planned out, but we must stay resilient within that space, because essentially what's happening on the in-between is not of you. Where you are is on the boundaries, and you're holding boundaries for what's happening on the in-between. Okay, I know I kind of lost some of y'all in that space, but the ones that I'm talking to know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. So whether you are public speaking, or, you know, it's a one-on-one thing where you are mentoring someone, just know you're holding the boundaries of this relationship, but God, universe, and spirit is all up and through there. Okay. So you must maintain this relationship, and you must make sure that you are being filled with spirit and universe and God, or, you know, your creator, so that you can speak that love, so that you can be that person. Okay. And that's just the meditation. All right. Let's see what my Pisces have. All righty. For December 2022. All right, so the Queen of Cups comes out, followed by the Emperor, followed by the Ten of Wands. All right, let me wrap my head around this, because this has moved into a whole different space, right? I believe that the meditation had a specific message for a specific group of Pisces. So if it didn't resonate with you, that's fine. All right, Queen of Cups, the Emperor, and the Ten of Wands. You know, some of us have this funny way of putting on a mask and showing one face to the world, and going home and being able to remove that mask and be ourselves at home. Okay. And it's not on like anything like of shame. It's not that. It's not on anything of embarrassment. It is not something that we're doing because we're in a fake space. No, it's more of a reservation of energy. Okay, I'm only going to give you so much energy, because you're only going to give me back so much energy, right? This is more draining than it is comforting. This is something that I might be being forced to do, like show up somewhere. Like, I'm forced to go to work because this is the job that I have. I'm forced to show up at this wedding because it's my brother's wedding, or my close sibling, or my uncle, or somebody that I'm close to in the family. I am forced to be in this space, but it is draining. Okay. So when we finally get to be ourselves in our space, we want to be alone, right? And for my Pisces, the Emperor is super duper important here, because you have perfected that. You have perfected a way for you to reserve your energy and then also make space for you. You can be out in a space where sometimes you don't want to be, but you got to show up. Like work, like that close family member's wedding, where you got to show up at places like hospitals. You got to show up at places like job interviews that you're there because it has a means to end, right? And this is something that we have to do. That's the mentality. This is something that I have to do, so let me get it over with. Let me start it now so I can end it early. Let me get there now so I can leave early. And it's something that you mastered. And it is nothing that's fake or anything like that. You just mastered the space of relationship with self, which goes back into the meditation in such a curious way that it's like we're getting a glimpse into the way Pisces maintains relationship with their God, universe, spirit. Yeah. It's like Pisces, I don't want to say it's two different Pisces, right? It's the same Pisces. It's not that you are acting one way out in public and then you act another way in your private life. This is the same person with two different perspectives. Okay? And looking on the outside in Pisces, it's going to look different for the people that don't know you, for those that are not familiar with the way that you work, right? So it's like you already know when to leave the party. Okay, you already know when to pack up and put yourself in a place of like solidarity when you are going back into your cave. I'm surprised the hermit card hasn't come up. Okay. And this is also for my Pisces that haven't gotten there yet, that want to be able to do things and not feel bad that you're doing them, or do things and not lose friendships over them. The Pisces that I am looking at right now in these cards, they've mastered that. Okay. And maybe you're getting to a point where you can master it too, because these Pisces that I'm looking at, they're like, okay, if this is going to ruin our friendship, then you're lost. If this is going to ruin our relationship, then you're lost. Because I can walk away from this. And not to say that they won't be emotionally invested in it, but their emotional investment to the priority of self is stronger than their emotional relationship with someone outside of themselves. And that might sound narcissistic to people, and that might sound self-centered or egotistical, but it's not. Because the way that you present yourself in public and in private is of a giving heart. But I'm not going to continuously give and not receive. Okay? Then you have the star card, and the star card comes in and it's like pouring into self. Pisces, if you haven't mastered this space of being able to balance external to internal, you really got to start pouring into yourself. You got to make yourself the priority, and that's what the star card is all about, making yourself the priority. It also talks about detoxing. Okay, so if some of my Pisces are out there thinking about changing their diet, or having to be forced into a space to change their diet, or thinking about, cutting people off for a certain amount of time, this is all what it is. Detox. Detox so that you can start to build that relationship with self. The last card that comes out is the Three of Swords. This is definitely somebody that's working on this. This is definitely somebody that's working on this. And I read it in the way that I did before because it just seems so solid and solidified that like you were already here. You were already here, but it was like, it's like somebody in my Pisces circle is thinking about who they could become if they could release this person, if they could release these anxieties, if they could release these thought processes, these emotions, who would I be? And it's like, you could be this person, right? Because the Three of Swords comes in and it says you're playing 3 different personalities, right? It's like we're on this Four of Wands, right? We're on this Four of Wands merry-go-round where we're finding ourselves in situations that we've already been in, right? And we're going around, and sometimes we can be the victim because, you know, of whatever reason, and being the victim, we can then become angry and be the aggressor, and in being the aggressor, we can then become the hero and someone that stands up for themselves, going back into the meditation, somebody that starts to speak up for themselves, you know. And in that space, you know, how we conduct ourselves is how we get to this solidified person that's confident, right? That knows balance in their life, their own personal balance. They're there, okay? But right now you're in the Three of Swords, Pisces. And we got to figure out how we can get off of the merry-go-round of going around in circles and start to detox and pour into ourselves. So that way we can be the ruler of our external and our internal, right? The things that we control externally, we can do that, right? Our level of participation, we can control that. The places in which we go, we can control that. And then once we're in those places that we're like, oh my goodness, I gotta go up here. Oh, let me just get this over with, right? If we go up into those situations, then we know that we have to be the container for what's happening, because spirit and God and universe is all running up and through that. Okay? We have to trust that when we are moving into spaces that we feel we're forced into, that God is moving through that. We just got to be the container for it. And once we start to pull back on the things that we can't control, excuse me, thank you. When we can't control, we start to become the people that we are externally and internally. So this reading went all the way backwards. It didn't start with how you are. It started with, who do you think you are without that emotional attachment? Who do you think you are without being the victim? Who do you think you are without having to be the aggressor all the time, right? Who do you think you'll be if you had to do it by yourself, if you didn't have to do it all by yourself? It's like you started out with this envisioning who you are, who you want to be. How would I act? What would I do? All right, Pisces, this has been your December 2022 reading. I've already meditated over the cards. Goodness gracious. I'll see y'all next month. Thank you for watching. Bye.